Good morning, everyone. It's going to be a fun day today. I'm really excited. It's always a fun day when you get to go into Yellowstone National Park. That's what we're doing today. We're still in Montana now, but we're going to be heading into Wyoming and be spending most of the day in Wyoming before heading back home into Idaho. It's 5:30, or at least we woke up at 5:30. It's 5:56 now. We're in this beautiful campsite. I'm guessing about an hour outside of the north entrance to Yellowstone, outside of Gardiner, maybe a little bit more. The plan for today is to essentially see several more or less roadside attractions in Yellowstone National Park. We have our dog with us, we have Bowser with us, and you can't take him on basically any trails in the park for safety reasons for the dog, because there are wolves and coyotes and bears, grizzly and black bears, and there are geothermal features, hot pools, none of which are good for a little doggo. And so we are going to be leaving him in the car basically the entire day, which means that we ourselves are not going to be out of the car for very long. And so we're going to be doing basically roadside things. So stop the car and then go walk around and see the attraction and then get back in the car. We're not going to go on any big hikes today. And like any good day in Yellowstone, the plan today is to see waterfalls and some geothermal features, and then hopefully some wildlife. I'd like to see some bison. I always like seeing bison, maybe some elk, and then if we see anything else beyond that, that'll just be icing on the cake. So let's get in the car and drive on into Yellowstone National Park. Well, we made it. We are in Yellowstone National Park. It's about 7:30, and we've already seen elk, deer, and pronghorn here, so we're starting off strongly on the animal front. And we are now at Mammoth Terraces. This is near the north entrance to the park, near Gardiner. And this is basically a series of, they look like calcified waterfalls there. I think they're travertine terraces, really beautiful, and some really beautiful springs here too. I've been here before. I think I've been to Yellowstone 6 or 8 times. Cassie's been, I think this is her 4th time, but I don't think she's ever been to this spot before. This thing is Liberty Cap. It is a dormant hot spring cone. So basically there used to be a hot spring here, and as it was bubbling up over the years, the minerals that the water was carrying kind of clung to the sides, and then eventually it just closed up and became a cone. And I forgot to say that then the rest of it eroded. The earth around the cone eroded away. We drove east a handful of miles from Mammoth, and we're going to see a couple of waterfalls here. The first one, basically you park and then walk over to the viewpoint here, and then the second one, which is just a little bit down the road, you have to hike about a mile to each way. And this one here is called Undyne Falls, or Undine Falls. This is the parking area and trailhead for Wraith Falls. Can't go wrong with a name like that. And like I said, it's less than half a mile, or around half a mile, to the waterfall. should be a pretty mellow hike.
I really like this waterfall. It's neat to see it cascading down all of the rocks. It's kind of like a blanket of water, and it only took us 10 minutes to get up here.
Once we get back to the car, we are going to drive back to Mammoth and then head south on the main park road, the main Western Park Road. We're gonna make our way toward what I would say is the second most popular site in Yellowstone after Old Faithful. But we might see a thing or two along the way. Hey, Bowser. Next stop, Gibbon Falls. It's another more or less roadside waterfall. We're in a little bit of a traffic jam here. I think it's bison caused. I think there's a little herd of bison on the side of the road, and so everyone's slowing down to take a look. Well, we made it. We found a parking spot somehow. We are at Midway Geyser Basin, and this is where the famous Grand Prismatic Spring is. This is a spring that looks like it's just like multicolored and beautiful. Looks like it's had a bunch of Skittles dropped into it. Really pretty spot. But I think it's probably the second most popular feature in Yellowstone after Old Faithful, and so lots of people here, and it was a little bit tricky to find parking, but all's well that ends well, I guess. I don't know if this is coming through on the camera, but even the smoke is different colors. Over here it's like a pinkish orange. Over here it's more blue. So here we are at the spring. There is a viewpoint, little hill you can walk up to that's over here. We saw a group of people up there, but that starts at a different trailhead that's back over this way. We're not doing that today. We don't want to leave Bowser for that long, but it still looks cool. You can still see the colors from here. The blue, the green, the orange. Grand Prismatic Spring. Yeah, you can see the people on the hill right there. I think that was originally an unofficial trail. People just ended up hiking over there, and then the National Park Service turned it into a real trail. Well, that was quite the experience. A lot of people out there, but you know, can't blame them. We're part of the horde too, and it's a beautiful day to be in Yellowstone. And I guess that wraps up our seeing of the big three today in Yellowstone: the animals, the wildlife, which we saw with the bison and the elk and everything, and the waterfalls, which we've seen several of, and then the geothermal features, which we just saw there in Midway Geyser Basin. Well, it's time for a little bit of a break, I think. I think we're basically done in Yellowstone, but we are just up the road, still in the national park, still in Yellowstone, at one of the many picnic areas, the day use only areas in the park. We're gonna feed Bowser and let him experience some fresh air outside of the car for a little bit before we drive back home. But I wanted to show you the back of our car here, the setup that we have during the day. It's not pretty, it doesn't look good, but it's functional and it's easy. It's something that anyone can do, and yeah, let's walk you through that. So the system is basically that we have all of our stuff back here during the day, then at night we move it all to the front seats. So here we have a sleeping bag, here's the other sleeping bag, here's our fridge. So we found that we can keep the fridge by our feet. Like, we don't move this at all. This stays here all the time. And so I sleep on this side, my legs go here. Cassie sleeps on this side, her legs go over on that side. And we can move this over to one side or the other if we want to, but usually it just stays in the middle here. And we have Bowser's little bed there that he is in during the day when we're driving a lot of the time. And then my hiking backpack, my clothes backpack, Cassie's clothes bag, the food bin. In fact, let's show you the food we have going on this trip. I know you guys like to see the food sometimes. We've got some cherries, not a whole lot in here now, cheese slices, turkey slices, some mayo, some cheese sticks, and then the chocolate, the candied ginger chocolate that we got yesterday. That's it right now. Basically fruit and sandwich making stuff. That's what we've had in here on this trip. And then in the dry food bin, we have beef jerky, and then snacks, Sour Patch Kids, fig bars, bread, protein bars, diced peach cups, you know, hiking food, basically. And that's what we've been eating on this trip. We've eaten out a couple times, but during the day we snack on cheese and protein bars and whatever else. So you can see our two beds here. My foam mattress is right here. Cassie's is right here. Our battery is right here. The Jackery is right there. I don't know if you can see the orange and black of it. So that gets charged either by solar or by the car, whichever one will give it the most. If it's sunny, then we'll use the solar. If not, then we'll charge it via the car. And then, of course, on the sides, we just have, this is just a square piece of wood, 2 feet by 2 feet. The paracord goes up and around the headrest, and the paracord is just attached in each corner. And this is so that when I push this seat forward at night to sleep, to give me the most amount of length here, my head doesn't fall through this gap here. It makes a nice solid platform and works just fine. And this was a pre-cut 2x2 piece from Home Depot. Didn't even have to cut that. Anyway, great trip. We had a great time. Bowser behaved himself pretty well. He's just under the table here right now, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this trip. Let us know what your favorite part was, and let us know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.